Something impossible was happening at Chester's farmhouse, and we could hardly believe our eyes. A sudden shimmer, like liquid sunlight, rippled across the air, and then, impossibly, golden wings erupted from Chester's back. He hovered a few inches above the floor, eyes wide with wonder, before letting out a triumphant, "Goodbye, my friends." Laughter, astonishment, and disbelief collided in our chests. We had always heard Chester spoke of magic, but nothing had prepared us for this. And that, we knew, was only the beginning of a night that would stretch imagination, chaos, and laughter to their absolute limits. Beneath the thick mango trees just outside Savannah, 4 old friends, Harold, Milton, Walter, and Homer, met every evening. It wasn't just a casual gathering. Each evening, after sharing the small joys and troubles of life, they competed to tell the most impossible, laugh-out-loud story. Every tale was carefully prepared and polished by hours of imagination, each friend eager to outdo the others. Tonight, the air buzzed with anticipation. The mango leaves whispered in the breeze as if urging the tales to begin. Fireflies drifted between the branches like tiny lanterns, stitching gold across the twilight. The warm scent of mango mixed with earth and distant river mist, wrapping the garden in comfort. Shadows danced softly around the friends, as though the night itself had pulled up a chair to listen. Even silence felt alive there, waiting patiently for the first impossible story to take flight. Still laughing at the memory of Chester's golden wings, Harold leaned forward, eyes twinkling. "You wonder how all that happened? Well, let me tell you what I saw at his farmhouse before the wings ever appeared," he began. Chester had been searching for the most extraordinary snake in Georgia for decades, following old tales and legends. This snake was unlike any other. Its emerald scales shimmered in sunlight. Its forked tongue could sense emotions, and its faintly glowing eyes hinted at secrets ordinary people could not see. People whispered that the snake did more than crawl and bite. Some swore it could listen to human thoughts, curling closer when someone felt brave and shrinking away when fear cruised near. At night, its scales glimmered like scattered stars, and even the wind around it seemed to pause in respect. Chester often claimed the creature carried ancient magic in its blood, magic that didn't simply change bodies, but awakened the impossible hidden inside anyone daring enough to taste it. Chester always hinted at its magic, but never revealed the full extent of its powers. Finally, after countless adventures through swamps, forests, abandoned barns, and even 3 bakeries, since the snake had a ridiculous sweet tooth and was known to slither off with pies, Chester caught it. He prepared the broth carefully, stirring it as though concocting a potion of legend. When Harold and his friends arrived, the fragrant kitchen filled the farmhouse. "Try it," Chester said, holding out a steaming bowl. "This is no ordinary soup. It's made from a magical broth. What it does will reveal itself in time." The friends hesitated, imagining the taste, the danger, the thrill. "You'll regret it if you don't," Chester warned, mischief and seriousness mixed in his eyes. Despite their hesitation, Chester drank the broth himself. Moments later, golden wings erupted from his back, shimmering in the sunlight. With a triumphant flap, he soared into the sky like a majestic eagle, leaving the friends open-mouthed. For a heartbeat, no one spoke. The farmhouse seemed to hold its breath as golden feathers scattered tiny sparks of light across the walls and windows. Chester's shadow glided over the floor like a living sunrise, and the air tingled as if the impossible had brushed past their faces. In that silent moment, wonder replaced doubt, and every friend felt they had just witnessed the birth of a brand new kind of magic. One bold friend, curiosity getting the better of him, nibbled at the leftover snake bones. Instantly, he ran faster than a racehorse, leaving a whirlwind of dust, laughter, and astonishment behind. The others could only gape in disbelief. Sometimes hesitation meant missing the chance for the impossible. The garden erupted in laughter as Harold described every detail. The suspense of those unknown powers kept them on edge. Milton wiped tears of laughter from his eyes. "All right, you thought wings and super speed were unbelievable? Listen to my cousin sneeze." It began as a normal morning, until a sneeze of unimaginable power erupted. The consequences were immediate. The town bakery's ovens exploded, showering bread and pies across the streets. Chickens flew in perfect formation, honking like confused pilots. Mr. Thompson's hat spun 3 blocks away, landing neatly on a lamppost. By the second sneeze, the Mississippi River reversed its flow for exactly 63 seconds, creating an impromptu water slide for a passing wedding party. The final sneeze lifted Milton's cousin into the air, spun him 3 times, and gently deposited him on a passing ferry. He waved at the astonished captain as though nothing had happened. The friends were in stitches, Milton painting each image with exaggerated gestures and perfect timing. Walter stretched, grinning. Wings, sneezes, all fine, but nothing compares to my leap across the Mississippi River. He described the river's wide expanse, the roaring current, and the confused wildlife watching him as he prepared for the leap. Walter bounced off a cow, naturally, soaring like a human cannonball. Ducks flew past, honking in protest. A passing ferry captain waved politely, unsure whether to cheer or call the Coast Guard. His landing on the opposite bank was flawless. The river itself seemed to bow, he said with a sly grin. Even a cat applauded. Manners matter, even during impossible feats. The garden shook with laughter at each detail, imagining Walter's audacious adventure. Finally, Homer leaned forward. "Forget wings, sneezes, and leaps," he said. "The most chaotic day I ever lived started with a river and ended with a rainbow, a tortoise, and a skywriting pig." From the first moment, the river chased him. A flying cat wearing a sailor hat zoomed past. Trees sprouted candy leaves. Each candy became a marching band of squirrels. Golden-crowned ducks argued over bridges. A wedding party floated by on rowboats, tossing pies at him. He bounced on a giant tortoise into a hot air balloon teacup, dodging popcorn-shooting clouds, tap-dancing frogs, and a chorus of singing goats. He juggled flaming cupcakes while waving to astonished townspeople. For the grand finale, Homer landed on a hill where a rainbow stretched behind him. The tortoise nodded proudly, and squirrels held a banner. Homer, the unstoppable. Even the river gave a tiny wave goodbye. The garden erupted in laughter. Mango leaves clapped in the breeze, and fireflies flickered like stage lights. The 4 friends leaned closer together, their shadows overlapping on the grass like one shared silhouette. Wrinkles of age faded beneath waves of laughter, and for a while they were no longer old men beneath mango trees, but curious boys again, trading wonder like treasures. The night wrapped them gently, and even the stars above seemed to pause, listening to the rhythm of friendship echoing through the garden. The 4 friends knew they had shared a night of impossible tales they would never forget. Leaning back, gasping from laughter, the friends realized one thing. In their little mango garden, imagination had no limits. Every impossible story and every burst of laughter had bound them closer. They knew they would return tomorrow, ready to tell even more outrageous, impossible tales. But tonight they had reached the perfect, unforgettable climax of imagination, humor, and friendship. As the friends finally sank into the grass, catching their breath, a single firefly drifted lazily over the garden. It twinkled brighter than any ordinary light, landing on a mango leaf. and to everyone's astonishment, the leaf began to giggle softly, rolling back and forth as if it had a secret joke. Chester winked, Homer grinned, and even Milton's cousin let out a tiny laugh. It seemed that the magic of the night had seeped into every corner of the garden, and somehow the impossible stories were far from over. As the fireflies danced and the mango leaves whispered, the friends realized one thing. In a world this magical, even the ordinary could turn impossible at any moment. And tomorrow, who knew what new wonders or talking hats might appear? If these impossible tales made you smile, wonder, or dream, then stay with us here in Beyond the Ordinary. Under every story waits another spark of magic, another laugh, another adventure that dares to stretch imagination just a little further. The garden is always open, the night is always young, and the impossible is always waiting just beyond the ordinary.